Okay, let's go ahead and sweep that right leg all the way up towards the ceiling in our three-legged dog. And when you're ready, take an exhale and let's step that right foot forward and through between the hands. We're going to drop the back knee. We're going to come all the way up, hands to heart center. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, let's spin and work that right or that left elbow over towards the outside of that right knee. Finding a little twisting lunge here. You can gaze at that top right corner of your mat. And if you like, you can even go ahead and start to lift that back knee off the floor. And when you're ready, we're going to start to spin ourselves around, plant that back foot down onto the mat, and pinwheel the arms up to find warrior two. Reaching those arms to the front and back of your mat as we sink into that right knee. See if you can relax your shoulders away from your ears. And then maybe turn your gaze down that right arm through the fingertips, a soft drishti, soft gaze. Go ahead and start to straighten through that front leg. Working into triangle pose, we're going to take an inhale as we reach those right fingertips forward. Send that left hip back. Exhale as we bring those right fingertips to the shin. Turn and open, stretch that left arm above the left shoulder. And see if you can lengthen through both sides of your waist here. Normally, we want to crunch into that right side, kind of let ourselves collapse. See if you can come a little higher on your leg and lengthen that right side of the body. Finding your breath. And when you're ready, look down to the floor. We're going to bend into that front knee. We're going to turn over onto those back toes and find our lunge here. We're going to catch the floor in front of us with our spider fingers. And we're going to come on up, lifting that back left leg off the mat. We're going to do a little strength on the leg here. So taking an inhale, lengthen that left leg. As we exhale, let's go ahead and bend both knees, bringing that left knee just to touch the back of that right calf. So you're kind of like in a little one-legged squat position. Inhale, reach back again. Exhale as you squat and tap that left knee to the right calf. Again, inhale and exhale, tap. Two more times. Inhale and exhale, tap. Last one. Might feel some warmth in that right glute. Exhale, tap. Good. This time, go ahead and step that left foot back. Find that lunge again. Plant the hands and step back to your downward facing dog. Maybe wiggle your tail out a little bit. Feel a little sensation there in that right glute. This time, go ahead, inhale, sweep that left leg back and up to three-legged dog. Press through those hands. Feel some length in your side body. And when you're ready on your exhale, let's draw that knee forward and step that left foot down between the hands. Dropping the back knee to the floor. Coming up, palms together, heart center. Take an inhale. Exhale as we spin to the left this time. Working that right arm over. Pressing that top hand into the bottom hand. And you can look towards the hands. You can gaze towards that left corner of your mat. Or even looking back over that left shoulder. Gives a little bit more of a balance challenge. And when you're ready, releasing down, we're going to come up, spin that back foot, back toes to that side of the mat as we spin the arms up or pinwheel them up to find warrior two. This time we're bending into that left leg, stacking that left knee over the left ankle. Relaxing the shoulders. Maybe finding our gaze down that left arm to the left hand. left fingertips. And then start to slowly straighten that left leg. Take an inhale as we reach forward with those left fingertips. Reach the right hip back. And then when you're ready, exhale, fingertips to the shin as we turn and open. Right arm reaches up above the shoulder. Again, maybe come up a little higher on the shin as you lengthen the left side of the waist as well. Notice the difference. And when you're ready, looking to the floor, release, spinning over on those back toes, catching the floor in front of us, right leg goes up. Take an inhale, lengthen through that back leg. Exhale as you bend both knees and bring that right knee to tap the back of the left calf this time. Inhale, reach. Exhale and tap. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tap. 2 more times. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tap. And last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, tap. Go ahead and take those right toes, place them back down into that lunge position. Planting the hands and stepping back into your downward facing dog. Yogi's choice here. If you'd like to take a little flow, you're welcome to, or just hang out here or in your child's pose. Inhale as we ripple forward to our plank pose. Exhale as we lower. Inhale, maybe it's cobra or upward facing dog, if that's in your practice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and exhale. Inhale, let's go ahead and sweep that right leg back and up again, 3-legged dog. This time we can open up that right hip if you like to by dropping that right heel back towards the butt cheek. Take a moment here for a breath. And when you're ready, square the hips. Exhale as you step that right foot forward between the hands. We're going to bring that back foot in a little bit. Place it down so that the toes are at 45 degrees. Still bending into that front knee. Let's come all the way up to find warrior one. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale as we bring the arms behind us. Interlace the fingers. Go ahead and press those knuckles down towards the floor as we roll the shoulders back and open the chest. Find some strength here in your warrior one legs. And then we're going to start to slowly straighten through the front leg. Take an inhale. And then exhale as we start to hip hinge forward, leading with the chest as we come over top of that right leg. Now, your choice. You can leave your arms behind you, interlaced. You can grab a tie or a towel or a strap if you like, if that works. You can even just release the arms down. Taking a breath or two here. And then when you're ready, release the hands. We're going to bend into that front knee, catch the floor in front again. Putting the weight onto the left leg. This time we're going to cross that left foot behind us. Even on, we're kind of like rolled on to the outer edge of the foot is okay as well. The goal here is you want to keep that right knee bent, but see if you can straighten that back leg, the left leg, if possible. We're just going to start to walk the hands over to the right, allowing the head to drop. You should feel that on that outer leg, outer left leg, down that IT band, into the glute a little bit. And then slowly coming back to center with the hands, and then bringing that left foot back down. Stepping back with the left foot, finding your lunge, plant the hands, and then step back to your downward facing dog. Take an inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and sweep that left leg back and up, three-legged dog. If you like to open up the hip, you can drop that heel back. Give that left hip a little opener. And when you're ready, squaring the hips off, exhale as you step forward, left hand between those, or left foot between those hands. Back foot steps in a little bit. We set the whole foot down on the mat, toes pointed out about 45 degrees. Keep bending into that left knee. Now press into the feet to rise all the way up to your warrior one. Inhale, sweep those arms up. And then exhale as we bring the arms behind us. This time, see if you can interlace the fingers so the opposite pinky is on the end. Feels a little weird. Pressing those knuckles down towards the floor. Opening the chest. And then slowly start to straighten through that front leg. Taking an inhale. As you exhale, let's go ahead and hip hinge forward. Any amount. You don't have to go all the way. Wherever's comfortable. And just hold here as you send that left hip back. Bring that right hip forward because you're going to want to tend to open that up. You're kind of want to open the hips to that right side of the mat. So we just want to see if we can keep the left hip back, right hip forward so we keep them squared. And as we exhale, release those hands to the floor. Go ahead and catch the floor in front of you. Weight in the left leg. We're going to take that right foot behind us. Just cross it behind the left foot. And again, just rolling to the outside of that right foot. And then you can keep a little bend in the left leg. See if you can go ahead and start to straighten through the right leg, that back leg, as we walk the hands over towards the left. Holding forward. See if you can take some tension out of your neck by just allowing your head to be heavy. This one should wake up a few of those muscles in the side of the hips and the legs. Good. Finding your breath. Nice work. And then when you're ready, slowly start to walk the hands back, uncross those legs, and then go ahead and step that right foot all the way back to your lunge, plant the hands, and step back to downward facing dog. Take an inhale through the nose and exhale it through the mouth. Yogi's choice here. If you like to take a flow, feel free as we ripple forward, finding your plank, your variation. Exhale as we lower. Inhale, find your up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog or child's pose. And let's just gently start to walk to the top of the mat again, nice and slowly. Feet under the hips. Inhale up halfway. Exhale and fold. Go ahead and take peace fingers around your big toes. If you need to heel toe the feet out a little wider, feel free. We're going to bend the knees a lot. So you're almost resting your belly on those thighs. Inhale as you gently lift the chest forward, lengthen the spine, tailbone to crown of the head. And then exhale as you begin to fold forward, straighten those legs any amount. Using those arms to gently pull the body forward, keeping some length in your spine though. So in a minute you start to feel yourself really struggling and rounding out, bend the knees, come up a little bit, keep the spine long. Finding your breath. And then go ahead, release the hands from the toes. Inhale up halfway again. Exhale and fold. Inhale, let's rise all the way to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Let's go ahead and bring the feet in a little closer. Traditionally, for this chair pose, we want to keep the big toes touching and the ankles just slightly apart. If that works for you, if not, you can just bring the feet maybe an inch or two apart. And we're going to take an inhale as we sit it back into our chair pose, and then exhale as we spin over towards the right, taking that left elbow. See if we can catch the outside of that right thigh. If not, just go ahead and extend the left arm and slide your right hand into your back pocket. Start to twist if you can towards the right side as we open the chest. Hips are back, keeping that chest above, or keeping that head above the chest, above the heart. So we don't want to be dumping over too far this way. We want to kind of keep that chest lifted, keep that head above the heart. Nice. Few breaths here. And then when you're ready, on your exhale, go ahead and forward fold. Inhale up halfway. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Exhale, hands to heart center. Again, taking an inhale. As we sit it back into chair pose, exhale as we spin over to the left this time, working that right elbow to the outside of the thigh if you can in prayer hands, or just extending the arm and sliding your left hand into your back pocket. Again, notice as those hips sink, we want to just keep that chest lifted, keep that head above the heart. Feeling the strength in the legs, squeezing everything to your midline. As you squeeze your inner thighs together. And on your exhale, forward fold. Go ahead and inhale up halfway. As you exhale, plant the hands, step back to plank. Take an inhale. And last vinyasa, exhale as we lower all the way down, finding your up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's start to walk those feet towards the center of the mat and then start to walk the hands there as well. So we're going to meet in the center. We're going to go ahead and heel toe the feet out a little wider, turning the toes out. And then we're going to start to set ourselves down into our yogi squat if that's accessible to you. You could come all the way down, keeping your heels on the mat, or if not, just come on down with the heels lifted. If the knees hurt and you don't want to even go that low, then you can just sit down in this position and find your yogi squat here, whatever works. Same position, same benefits. See if we can allow the tailbone to be heavy and find some length through the spine so we keep the chest lifted. And then slowly releasing the hands behind you and coming down onto our bums. We're just going to find some space here. I'm going to turn towards you as we take a seated wide-legged or straddle fold. So we're going to open up the legs nice and wide. See if you can keep those toes pointing up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to start with a little side bend here. So we're going to take our right arm and start to slide it, our right hand down that inner thigh as we sweep that left arm up and over. See if you can start to spin the chest up towards the ceiling a little bit. Really get that stretch in the side waist. And then slowly start to come up through center, switching it over to the other side. This time, left hand slides down the inside of that left thigh, sweeping that right arm up and over, and finding our stretch on this side. Again, spinning that chest open. Just noticing if one side is a little different than the other. Not really changing anything, just being aware of that. And then coming up through center, Let's turn our chest towards that right leg. Take an inhale. And as we exhale, just slowly start to fold over top of that right leg as much as possible. And then slowly using the hands to walk back up. And then just spinning towards the left side. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as we start to fold over that left leg. Good. Taking a few breaths here. And then slowly starting to walk up. Centering the chest, and then just placing those hands underneath the knees, just bending the knees and helping those legs together. We're just going to spin to the front of our mat and just slowly start to bring ourselves down onto our backs. And just keeping that left leg bent, foot on the floor, go ahead and reach that right leg up towards the ceiling. You can interlace the hands behind that right thigh and just go ahead and start to point and flex that right foot a couple of times, working through that ankle. And then we're going to start to bend that right knee. Take peace fingers around your big toe. This is kind of a half happy baby pose. So just that right leg as we allow that knee to drop down towards the floor. And I like to kind of let my left leg kind of fall out a little bit. It kind of centers me. So all my weight isn't over to that right side as I tip over to the right. So you can just kind of let that left knee fall out. And gently releasing. Go ahead and stretch that left leg all the way out. Keeping that right knee bent, let's roll over to the left as we bring that right knee with us into a gentle spinal twist. Extend that right arm. You can extend it out in line with the shoulder, or if you want a little bit more of a chest stretch, you can slide it up on a little bit more of a diagonal. You might notice it hits the chest, the top of the chest maybe a little bit differently. Take a couple of inhales, feel nice and long on your inhales, and then notice the sensation on your exhales as you just notice yourself. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to exert anything. Just kind of notice as you soften into your twist on those exhales. A couple of more times like that. And then go ahead and slowly start to roll back onto your mat. Keeping that right leg bent, extend that left leg all the way up, and then just go ahead and flex and point those left toes. And when you're ready, bending that left knee, peace fingers around that left big toe. And again, half happy baby pose. That's a hard one to say tonight. Kind of like a little bit of a tongue twister. And then again, I just like to let that right leg kind of fall out a little bit just to kind of balance me, center me. And then slowly coming back, extending that right leg all the way out, keeping that left knee bent, and start to roll over to the right side of your mat, bringing that left leg with you. And again, working that left arm in line with the shoulder, or maybe you want to slide it up on a diagonal a little bit. Just notice how that changes the stretch a little bit into the chest, upper chest. Practice a couple of those breaths here with that intention of getting a little longer on your inhales through the spine. Exhale as you soften into your twist. And then slowly coming back onto your mat as we roll onto our backs. And just taking the feet nice and wide on your mat. Maybe give yourself a couple little windshield washers with those legs from side to side. Always feels nice to kind of finish off with this. Or even draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock and roll from side to side. A little massage on the low back, whatever feels good. And then coming to center. Go ahead and extend your legs all the way out. Extend your arms with your palms facing up. Maybe picking up the shoulder or the back, the shoulder blades, and kind of tucking them back down towards those back hips a little bit, just to get the shoulders out of your ears. See if you can kind of wiggle the legs a little, relax the hips, and let the feet just kind of fall to the sides of the room. Fingers are relaxed, just naturally curled. Go ahead and take a deep breath in through your nose. Open the mouth and exhale with a sigh. Maybe you need to do that a few times just to let go. We're just going to spend a minute here in silence. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Maybe some circles with those wrists and ankles. Hear some cracks, creaks and cracks. And then if you like to go ahead and take a full body stretch as you reach the arms overhead. Take a big inhale, reach, reach, reach. And then soften and exhale through the mouth. Bending the knees, placing the feet on your mat, and just rolling yourself over to any side that's comfortable. Just take a moment here to just rest your head on that bottom arm. And then when you feel ready, use those arms to gently help yourself up, nice and slowly with as little effort as possible. Just coming to a seated position. See if you can kind of find those sit bones. So we're sitting nice and tall, stacking those ears over the shoulders and the shoulders over the hips. And we're just going to bring those hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Take an inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Again, inhale. And exhale. I'm just going to close our practice tonight with one chant of Om. Feel free to join in or just listen. Taking an inhale. Om. Namaste. Thank you so much. Patience, your presence and your practice tonight.